Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, a good kickstart to your Christmas week. We got Christmas Eve tomorrow. That's going to be a shortened trading session, followed up by the market being closed on Christmas. Let's talk about Palantir Technology, some of the things that we're seeing in the market. We have the official inclusion of Palantir into the NASDAQ-100. We're going to be talking about what this means, what we saw in terms of price action today, along with the other stocks that joined, MicroStrategy, Axon, and Palantir sitting at these all-time highs. Some big things that we've seen recently and what could be happening here in the next following week. Now, if you're a new or returning viewer, we're growing very fast. Thank you everybody for joining the family. I love making these videos for you guys. Seeing it down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, not a financial advisor, collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, Palantir Technologies closes at $80.69. It has a trading volume of about 93 million, market cap shy of 200, sitting at 183 billion right now. Now, Palantir sitting at these all-time highs is doing relatively well, and we're seeing consolidation across this individual stock. In the overnight hours on Robinhood, sitting right now at $80.60, not making a ton of movement. One of the big things, remember though, is that Palantir had that announcement 10 days ago that they were going to be included into the NASDAQ-100. This actually comes to a reality and comes to full fruition today. You see here Palantir, MicroStrategy, and Axon. You're seeing some articles talking about how here they fall on the first day in the NASDAQ-100. I mean, by golly, give them some chance. You're going to see some articles that come across here with this bearish kind of perspective. Sometimes this happens if we're not seeing a ton of excitement with Palantir, but great accomplishment. Really what this means for Palantir is now it's going to be tracked with the QQQ. This is an ETF that tracks the 100 most valuable stocks. These are people that want to get more exposure into the growth stock atmosphere. A lot of tech stocks in here, and this is a major milestone for Palantir, especially just being included into the S&P 500 a few short months ago. We're going to be talking about what this means for future earnings, what this means for price action, and in terms of credibility, Palantir is really building up that great track record. Remember, yesterday in the video, we talked about how Palantir is going to be making some very exciting movements and announcements in 2025. And that's that Palantir basically collaborates here with Anduril and is in talks with other big techs like OpenAI, Elon Musk's SpaceX to take on defense giants. And what they're really working on is to form a consortium to jointly bid on U.S. governmental contracts. We've seen that Palantir has really been at the forefront for gaining a lot of these governmental contracts, and now collaborating with Elon Musk, I think, is going to be a major fuel to the fire that we've seen going into 2025. The reason being is because we have a new administration that's taking over office here relatively soon. That's going to be 4 years of, we don't know what's going to be happening. I think a lot of crazy things. But Elon Musk is going to be coming in here, leading the Department of Governmental Efficiency and working to cut on unnecessary governmental spending. And Palantir is working to bring AI into the governmental sector and to reduce waste, improve efficiency, productivity, and make it a win-win situation. So I think that collaboration between Elon and Alex Karp, I think we're going to see the developments of 2025. That's my prediction. Taking aim on these traditional defense giants such as Lockheed Martin, Northrop, Boeing, RTX, and they say right here that they are going to come out with many announcements in 2025. And that really leads us to, where does Palantir sit for the next quarter earnings? It's going to be February 5th. That's kind of the announcement date. It's not official. What we're anticipating, earnings per share at 11 cents. What we're seeing and what has been keeping me bullish for Palantir is that the earnings per share revisions that we've got in the last 90 days have actually been 12 in the bullish direction. You can see here is 0 in the bearish direction. And this is why on the Zacks rank, Palantir right now sits at a buy, because the Zacks rank will typically utilize earnings per share revisions as a big gauge or a reliable source for their stock indicators in terms of buy, sell, hold. And right now, even though the valuation is sky high for Palantir, the stock currently carries a Zacks rank of a number 2 of a buy, which is surprising to me personally, because compared to what a lot of analyst averages are saying they're expecting some downside in Palantir. However, the momentum and what we've seen with the recent rebound from the $72 here after we had that decent correction in the market last week after the Fed came out with their remarks for 2025, Palantir still has a lot of juice behind it. And what I'm personally seeing is a lot of institutional investment is coming in here. We've seen a lot of retail support, but now in combination with retail and institutional buyers, we're now going to have the passive buying pressure of that inclusion to the NASDAQ-100, which I think will help continue Palantir's momentum on this run up. The question is, how far will this run go for Palantir before we see any type of decent correction? If we do, I mean, the stock is up over 350%. Yes, the risk for downside potential is high at any moment, but the highs keep getting higher for Palantir. And even on the shortened trading week, we're still seeing a decent amount of options activity. And going into the markets, we see the actual broader market is continuing to rise. Now, specifically, you see the NASDAQ, the S&P right here. They climb nearly 1%. NVDA has a great day coming up here, about 4%. We'll be talking about that in just a few moments. But talking about that, futures right here, sitting pretty stable right now. We're going to see trading activity that's going to be toning down. That's because we have a short market tomorrow, closing on the market on Christmas, and then on Thursday and Friday, depending on what's going to be happening. A lot of people are probably off for Christmas week, so we could see a reduction in trading activity, but we're seeing tech names and actually semiconductor stocks that were big winners for the day, lifting the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which are pretty tech heavy, and we see Meta jumping more than 2%, Broadcom advancing another 5%. They've been on a great run, and NVIDIA rising 3.7% right here. We also see Honda in the automotive industry finish its session more than 12% higher after it announced it has entered into an official merger talks with the fellow Japanese automaker Nissan. A very interesting move there. We can get into further detail about that, but a big move. A lot of people have been speculating on Nissan's performance and their future outlook, and Honda coming in right here, coming into official merger talks that could be pretty bullish for both companies depending on how that plays out. Big things. One historical pattern that I do want to share with you guys that we see here from CNBC on this article is actually on the Stock Traders Almanac. The S&P 500 has gained 1.3% on average between the last 5 trading days of the year and the first 2 trading days in January, dating back to 1969. So what we've seen historically on average is some green bullish momentum, not incredibly crazy, but a decent run-up from the week of Christmas into the first few days of the new year. And one of the big things that we're seeing here is NVIDIA having a pretty good rise today. Particularly what happened was more of a political and administration move that helped NVIDIA boost up, now at 139. And NVIDIA's had a really good rebound since the 130s right here. We saw it dip beneath the support level just for a short period of time last week when we saw that pullback in the market, but a great reversal pushing NVIDIA now to about $140. What particularly happened is that the Biden administration actually launched a trade investigation into China's semiconductor industry, potentially leading to higher tariffs on legacy. Speaking of tariffs, we know that is on a top agenda for the new administration that will be coming into the office in just a short period of time. Now, this investigation is actually focusing on China's production and trade practices for legacy semiconductors, which could lead to higher U.S. tariffs on these components, according to Reuters. And basically, this probe and this investigation, its overall goal is to help protect the semiconductor producers, and especially the U.S. semiconductor producers, from China's state-driven industry expansion, and has increased export restrictions on advanced AI and memory chips to China and imposed a 50% tariff on Chinese semiconductors. That's a pretty large tariff. What you're seeing here is basically the U.S. trying to stay ahead of this global AI arms race and imposing a tariff on China, investigating into their semiconductors. This is bullish, a protection for NVIDIA being a leader in this very, very, very competitive market right now. We'll see what happens with that, and especially how this kind of transfers into the next year. Great to see here. NVIDIA doing well. Nonetheless, what's your opinion on Palantir? I think it's doing a great job consolidating at these high all-time highs, being able to hold, especially with a shorter trader week and a lot of people starting to focus on the holidays. Interesting things that will be happening. We'll give you guys an update tomorrow. Peace out, take care. I'll catch you guys later, and have a wonderful day.